analog CCTV. We have partial digital CCTV. And we have pure digital or network CCTV. We have analog CCTV, we have partial CCTV, and we have pure digital or network CCTV. Those are the three major types of CCTV that we have. Let me suspend CCTV there. Let me move to the next one. If we have time, I told you this was a general introduction. We'll come back to CCTV. Let me move to DSTv installation. By way of introduction, by God's grace, I'm the team lead for DSTv installer in the whole of Osun State. You can go and confirm it on DSTv site. So I'm talking as an installer. So some of you might ask me questions, and I will tell you the major reason why I will be using DSTv as my reference point, because I represent the brand of MultiChoice Nigeria. And I'm also a branded store holder for MultiChoice Nigeria here in Ishogbo. So I will use DSTv mostly as our basis of study. It's not that we don't have other products, but the best we have in Nigeria, as I'm speaking to you in digital broadcasting, is what? DSTv. Any other one is what are the components that makes up DSTv? I'm sorry, by the time we start the class, I'll bring all those things for DSTv down here as well. You have a question? I do smoke detector and fire alarm, but because of time, it's not part of what I will be training on camp. But if you are coming for post camp, and let me explain it this way: we have two types of training in NYC. We have what we call the in-camp or hands-on-skill training. You can't just sit. And we have what we call post-camp. In-camp is absolutely free, courtesy of NYC. But post-camp, you have a certain amount to pay per skill. And one of the states that have the cheapest skill is Osun State. For example, in Osun here now, CCTV training just costs 10,000. In Lagos State, 10,000 for CCTV. Whereas in Lagos State, you pay 50,000 for the same skill. In Oyo State, you pay 25,000 for the same skill. Hope you guys get what I'm saying. And at post-camp level, after your training in post-camp, NYSC will give you what we call NYSC Sage certificates. When you are collecting your discharge certificate, they will also give you a certificate that shows that NYSC has actually trained you on maybe CCTV, intercom, and something. And I'll tell you one funny story. One of our guys here, the guy now resides in Canada. Very funny story. A friend came around and told him that there is a scheme in Canada, they call it express entry. And the particular one he applied for was what they call the skilled labor version. And the friend said, like Mr. Paul, I'm telling you a true life story. What happened to one of my guys? I said, let's do this thing now. And he did his IELTS, the test of English. After the test of English, they need a proof that actually he learnt that skill in Nigeria. And there are only three places you can have certificates, technical certificates. One is what? Nigeria Technical Board that issue what we call trade test, yes or no? Yes. Number two, National Directorate of Employment, NDE, that also issue certificates, yes or no? And number three now, by Nigerian law, NYSC can also issue the certificate that you did a training, and it will also be recognized by the Federal Ministry of Labour. So he came to me that he needed the certificate. He was one of my most unserious guys. Although luck is towards him, luck fall on him. And he said, so later when he got the certificate, and you know, most embassies will tell you to take that certificate to what? Federal Ministry of Labour. They will confirm it that it's genuine, yes or no? So he took it there and they confirmed it. As I'm talking to you, he's a CCTV installer in Canada. With NYSC. The first job that he got that took him out of Nigeria, they were paying him then $20 per hour. Every 1 hour, $20. And he can work for minimum of 40 hours per week. That's $800. Just multiply that one by 515 naira. You will notice that one is more than half of your allowance, that will collect in a week. They pay weekly there. Are you guys with me? So don't think that this thing I might not need it. And thank God, the last time we spoke, he have even switched job because he now have a job that pays higher than that. But at least he used that one to what? To live what one of my uncle used to call I better pass my neighbor country. Can I move on now? Component of DSTv. Number one, we have what we call LMB. The LMB stands for low noise block. The LMB stands for low noise block. If you have question, you can raise it up your hand. Our Muslim brethren, what is the time for prayer today? Yeah. Is it 1:30, 1:15, 1:20? 1:30, 1:20. So by 1:20, our Muslim brethren, we can reduce it for your prayers, and by then we just switch to question and answer sections so that they will not lose anything during the course of the class. Are you guys with me now? Can I move on? Number one, what's the I call number one? That LMB is that thing that looks like. We have one at the back. LMB is that thing that looks like torchlights. Can I move on? Yes, sir. We have the spherical dish. Now, I told you today it's introduction. By our next class, I start introducing you. I'll start showing you what does an LMB does. What does the dish do? That thing you call satellite dish. Number three, we have what we call the F connector. That F stands for frequency. F connector. You have a question? Okay. Sir? F connector. Don't worry, when we get there, today, I told you today is general introduction. So by the time we go into the class fully, you know it. The F connector is the terminal cable. This is an F connector. This is how it looks like. Yeah, that's the third one. No, spherical, or satellite dish, anyone you call it. Can I move on? Yes, next one, we have what we call the coaxial cable. This cable. These are, I told you that I'm an authorized DSTv installer, and I also run a branded store for DSTv. So what I normally use for my product is what? DSTv certified products. This is the coaxial cable. Coaxial. C-O-A-X-I-A-L. Coaxial. Coaxial cable. Can I move on?
Yes, sir.
Next thing we have after our coaxial cable, we have what we call our satellite receiver. What you guys normally call what? Decoder. Decoding is just one of the functions of a receiver. But in Nigeria here, many things have what we call generic name. If you go to the market now, you want to buy seasoning, what will you say you want to buy? Maggi. Just go to the market and say, I want to buy seasoning. The woman will just say, seasoning. The first thing, an average Nigeria, the next thing they will think about is how to cheat you. Because probably they believe you don't know what you want to buy. Am I right or wrong? That thing happened to one of my guys of recent now. He went to one of our markets in Nigeria. I don't want to mention the name of that market. And he said, I want to buy a network creeping tool. They look at him like this, say, this one are mumu. They sold something of 2005 for 7,005. He said, no be mumu. Because most of the devices later will get there, some of them have their standard name, and some of them have their street name. Normally, when you want to buy it in the market, you say you want to buy a network plier. But as an installer, you call it what? Network creeping tool. Are you guys getting what I'm saying now? So when you want to buy it, when you go to the market and say, I want to buy a receiver, they look like this one, they go cheat you, you don't know the price. But when you get there and say you want to buy a decoder, but the actual name is what? a receiver. Next thing after the receiver, we have what we call the RCU, that is the remote control unit, which we normally call what? Remote. RCU, remote control unit. After the remote control unit, we have what we call the PSU, that is the power supply unit. That's what you normally call what? Charger. Abi? We have PSU, power supply unit. Next after that, you also have what we call the visual cables. And I've told you visual cables earlier, what? It's either AV, HDMI, or VGA. But in satellite, we have another one. We call it video components. So add it to that one. AV, HDMI, VGA, and what? Video component. Visual cables. Under visual cable, we have the AV, VGA, HDMI, and video. In video components, you normally use 3 wires, carrying what? The 3 primary colors. And video components. The last one is video components. For those that are interested in searching for my name on Facebook is Akinlusi Paul Akinoluwa. The spelling for the Akinlusi is AKINLUSI. Although I have already AKINLUSI, Paul. You can use that 2 names to search for me. You know, one of my ex-core members said something, and later it was like a nostalgia to me that makes me happy. Most times when we do installations, are you guys with me? One house, please. Most times when we do installation and you are on site, and you are on Facebook, and you are part of my Facebook friend, and you are part of my friend, I'll add your name to it. Initially, he thought it was just normal thing, until when he got his first job, and the first question the man asked him is, how many of it have you done in the past? And you know, in Nigeria here, you need a fresh graduate of 25 years old with 7 years of experience. They don't want you to use their job as what? As an experiment. So he just told the man that there are some jobs I've done, and the man told him that he should give him evidence. So he said he doesn't have any on his phone. He just remember that, I used to follow my guy to site. He just went ahead and download some of the pictures that they took while we were doing some job. And he got his first job. And there's one thing about life. The moment you have your first one and you do it yourself and you complete it and there is no complaint, what will happen? You build confidence. And you can use that one as your reference point to what? For other jobs. Yes or no? I said, Oga, this that you did, I normally thought it's just, and one thing I normally do, I don't water coat my job for the sake of my trainees. You know, by the time I water coat it, I put my name, my trademark there, I will restrict others from using it. And I don't know when you might need it or you might not need it. So, and sometimes what I will normally do is on our WhatsApp group, when we go for installation like that, we also post it on our WhatsApp so that everybody that's on the WhatsApp group can have it at the same time, whether you're on that site or you are not on that site. So by that day, you want to make reference to job. Like I went to visit a man yesterday, and the man was asking me, how many solar job have I done in the past? I was like, so I just like, so why are you smiling? I said, you want to see enough? I just gave him my phone. He said, no, I don't even want to check it on your phone. Do you have a Facebook or Instagram page? I said, yes. I want to follow the timeline and see how often do you do your job. You know, Nigeria, they say, the man said you can go to so many sites and be snapping pictures with them now. And I know that this man is a contractor. Truly, this man is a contractor. From the way he's reasoning, he's an engineer and he's a contractor. Do you understand what I'm saying now? And one of the things we have as leverage nowadays, we have social media as leverage. This year alone, I've got jobs worth millions from social. My guys know it. There was a job we got, over 2 million. The man does not know me at all. He's from UK. He just told his father to come and know our office. And after knowing our office, he gave us a mobilization of 70%. Just imagine that. And by the time we brought the stuff and we installed it, he paid us the balance. He also gave us another job again. Somebody that we don't even know at all. And by the end of the day, within 2 months, he has given us a job of over 4 million naira. From online. Oh. So don't underestimate it. When you do some jobs like that, when you follow us to site, you can paste it. Are you guys with me now? Where do we stop? Visual cables. Next thing after that, you need what we call monitor. Monitor. Your TV screen. Your TV screen. There is one of my guys there. While we're installing CCTV on this camp, because by God's grace, we got the job to install CCTV on this camp. I used core members and some of my guys to install. The guy that actually installed the camera at the gate, he took a picture with that camera and he used it as his DP on WhatsApp. Because I'm online, I will not give you guys his name. And after I took it, one of his uncles saw that picture and called him and said, "Guy, are you into CCTV?" He said, "Yes." He said that uncle of his is very stingy. The man is extremely rich, but according to him, he said that man is stingy. The man said, "I want to see you." We were together that day. I said, "Oh, guy, I don't want to go." But I believe one thing about life is, whether it's good news or bad news, first listen to what? The news. So you'll be updated. I said, "Go." And he went to his brother. And by the time he got to that brother works with one of the best establishments in Nigeria. He works with then DPR, Department of Petroleum Resources. That's the regulatory body for NNPC. When he got there, the man said, "Wow, so you do CCTV?" He said, "Yes." And at our side, though, I will not mention the side, that we are recruiting graduate training, fresh graduates that have not gone for service. And this is a guy that just graduated. And as ASU is doing us now, ASU that was for Polytechnic, were doing them then. So he was with me. The man said, "You should come." And he came. And the man signed at the back of his business card, told him to take it to the HR at that location. And they absorbed him as a graduate trainer. And as at then, he told me that as a graduate training, they were paying him 205,000. As I'm talking to you now, he's a full staff of one of the subsidiary of DPR. You know, DPR has been split to now. You have the downstream sector, medium and downstream sector, and the upstream sector. And for those that know what DPR is, you know that when you enter that place, your story has changed. Because the last time I did my international passport, I came to Lagos and I told them I want to do international passport. Well, they said it's only Lagos that is paper. I said, "Oh God, don't worry, let me call somebody." And he called that person. When I got there and I want to pay the woman, I said, "No, don't pay me. The person that told you to come has already paid for it." I was like, "Eh?" You know, they used to say, "A teacher will alone," that the reward of teachers are in heaven. But I know that some of it, you will enjoy it here on earth. And I was there for a few days. By the time I want to collect that international passport, I said, "Oh God, I'm not going to office with my car. This is a guy that drives a car of over 7 million now." I said, "Oh God, take my car there." And you know Lagos, the moment you see that, the way you package yourself, you say, no, come sit down, park here. And they gave me some honors, fair treatment, VIP treatment, because one of my guys called somebody there. And you know, if I don't know somebody there, you know how long it would normally take me to have my international passport. And I got it in 3 weeks. Without paying a kobo, courtesy of that guy. Do you understand what I'm saying now? And what did he do? He just used the picture of one camera. As I then, he is not yet even a professional installer. He just used one picture, and the whole story changed. Why am I saying this? Also use the power of social media to do what? To market yourself. The uncle that I say is stingy then gave him a job that the starting salary is more than the salary that his dad used as his retirement salary. You understand the difference now? Can I move on? I've given you components of DSTv now that will make you to view it at a point. But do you know that you get to some places, you have TV in the rooms. Am I right or wrong? And you'll be watching what's happening in the sitting room in other rooms. I mean other rooms, no, not Buhari other rooms. So right now, put this down. Component for extension. That if you want to extend the view of DSTv from a point to multiple points. Yes. Component for extension. I will just list those components. I will assume for now that you don't know them. Later I will talk about them fully. Number one, we have what we call the AV to RF transponder. AV to RF transponder. RF. AV stands for audio visual. RF stands for radio frequency. AV to RF transponder. Transponder is a combination of what? Transmitter and a responder. Number two, we have what we call AV to RF converter. Number two, we have AV to RF converter. RF converter. Number three, we have what we call RF booster. RF booster. Number three, RF booster. That's the one that amplifies the signal so that all the rooms will be as clear as it is in the main room. Number four, we have what we call splitters. So under that splitter, we have AV splitter, HDMI splitter, VGA splitter, RS splitter, and F splitter. Should I repeat myself again? Yeah. We have AV splitter, VGA splitter. Under splitter now, we have moved to the next one. Under splitter now, we have AV splitter, VGA splitter, HDMI splitter, RS splitter, RS splitter. The RF will be in capital letter, and F splitter.